6 different articles that range from everything from the new ChatGPT store to NVIDIA's push forward on additional performance. We have here our analysts, where we have humans reviewing human intelligence, reviewing what machine intelligence is doing, and so far we're still in the lead. But we are here to help you understand what is important in terms of your business and your professional career, in terms of what's happening in AI and generative AI. So this morning, welcome to you all. It's also hosted by Custom GPT, a wonderful place where you can both create your own chatbots and monetize them. And they have over 50,000 users, very easy to get started, an incredible product. So thanks to Custom GPT. Ankash, start us off with the first one, please.
Okay, so the first news item that we have for today is from NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has launched a new offering where, with the help of which you can use large language models on Windows PC. So it's RTX systems.
All right. Amanda, you feel like weighing in on this one?
Yeah, so this one I think I can go optional or important because I think as far as kind of diving into the different applications, again, I'm not sure for our audience how deep we want to go into this, so I'm kind of on the fence here. And then it dives into a little bit more on RAG and Tensor, and again, depending on how deep we want to go into these concepts, I'm on the fence. So I'm not sure others' opinions on this one.
Sure,
I would go optional, John.
You go optional?
Yeah, on this one. It's a technical article. It explains how it will be done and why you can then run those LLMs locally on the PC specifically. So it's a good informational thing, but I don't think it is for our audience to read through.
And
others?
John, I'll just weigh in there and say we had an article from 2 days ago on CES and NVIDIA, and some of this was covered in there, and that was rated important. So yes. I think that's just more argument in favor of this being optional news.
All right, let's call this optional, but I think it's important that our audience understand that performance and cost, performance is going up, cost is coming down, and you're going to have the ability to run a lot of things local. So some of the worries that people have with these large language models will go away as the architecture evolves. All right.
John, one other comment I have, just I think a lot of our executives, we talk about large language models being on the edge, which always feels out there. I think this is just reinforcing large language models will be on every laptop desk station of your employees.
Well, so, yeah, and phone, car, device, whatever, right? It's modular intelligence is the way I think about it. So, you're going to be able to put that intelligence anywhere you want, and that's going to be exciting. All right. Anything important? Anything other before we go? All right. Optional. All right. Next.
Okay. Next one is from OpenAI. So OpenAI has introduced the GPT store. We have been discussing about the GPT store for a few months now. So it's finally here.
So David, have you put your stuff up? Because I know you made a couple chat bots here. You're on mute.
Sorry, I have not put my stuff up yet. I think a couple of the tools I have are probably not useful for others. They're like very specific things that I do. But I definitely will start to try to build some. I know, Adam, you said that you had like 6 already lined up to go. Did you put them up there yet?
Well, there's no putting them up there. You make them public and you make sure your profile is set up correctly.
Clicking the button,
yeah. But I can search the store and find them, which makes me happy. They're not on any leaderboards, but it's at least working.
Yeah, yes. I think the other function that they released is cool too. The Teams room. I think that will solve the solution. People are trying to keep their make their prompts and such like available around a company, and which is, there's not like a mechanism, right? They've had to like kind of figure that out, and this kind of gives them an area to like build these little GPTs and have all employees be able to access the same ones.
Yes. Tanya, where are you?
I think they increased the security of the individual application. So, or at least they say they did. So this is good news as well.
I would think this is an important thing to have, to signal it as important. One thing that came to mind is if companies make GPT available to their employees and an employee then creates, an agent and they put it up there and it sells very well, like who owns that, right? Like, is it the employee get the money, the company gets the money? And I know we have another article on the legal side of different things, but that's what crossed my mind is how do we control, not how to control, but how is that going to work out as we unleash this easy way of developing applications?
Yeah, my guess it would be covered under the normal employment stuff around, it's all work for hire, whatever you do while you're getting paid. But really interesting question. If you do it at home on the weekends, whatever, right?
To help your own work, right? But then you realize, hey, there's a market for it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get interesting.
They don't have the monetization mechanism working yet. So I also wonder if you put something up now, like now everyone's gonna start using it, I guess, later.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna probably say like, oh, well, over the last 2 months, 1 million people used it. We're gonna pay you in arrears.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's incentive to put your GPT up here, if you're really trying to make money off of it.
Yes.
That's why the first article to me is still important. That whole idea that now you can have things just local in your machine and not have to worry about putting things out in the cloud and someone taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely important.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to rate this guy as important in our EIO framework here. All right, any other vital things before we go to the next one? All right, Akash, next.
Yep. Just to follow up on this one, so OpenAI has also launched a new ChatGPT option for small teams.
Yes, I think we're going to skip over that one, Akash, and go to the one after
Right.
that,
Right.
because that's the
Okay.
small teams covered.
The next one is
Yep.
a startup which is launching functionality for better prompt engineering.
Uh-huh.
So here's an example, right, of what we were just talking. I mean, these guys were trying to do something completely unrelated to the product that they're now building, right? They were trying to get this way to improve your profile on LinkedIn, and they realized, hey, doing all of this development is getting too hard. We're going to invent this. And now I think they're backed by millions of dollars because someone spotted what they were doing. So that's just think it's interesting. But anyway, I really like this article. I don't know that it's important to our executives. But I think it's a cool it's inspirational.
I think it's optional for our audience because there's a number of groups trying to put together tools to develop great prompts, and they are very needed. But there's a number of them, and it's happening, but not there yet. So it's optional.
Yeah, we had an article a few days ago, right, that listed a bunch of orchestration providers.
Yeah.
That one I think we ranked important because it had a nice list and kind of talked about the need for that. But this is just a small piece of that. So I think it's optional.
Paul, you got an opinion here?
I give it an I for inspirational, not for important.
Okay, optional it is. All right.
Okay.
Next.
The next one that we have here are some key considerations that companies need to consider while negotiating GenAI agreements.
Yeah, I thought this was at least important. I thought this was a very poorly written, but at least essential. At least important article in terms of what it's raising, because the notion of what new things you need in a contract, and so many of our clients and the folks we talk to are concerned about risk and IP and so forth. And this, I think it's a poor attempt on an important topic.
I agree. I think it's a short enough article highlighting some. It's not exhaustive for sure, but it highlights the main points that you should be aware of in
Yep.
difference to other softwares. I think it's an important topic and is a good read. I think it's worth reading. So important.
Yeah, I think if the person had actually put the thing into a chatbot, it would have, none of the chatbots write this poorly, so you know it was original.
Maybe that is the point, right? I wrote this.
That's funny. I've been wondering if it will become a thing to like have some errors and such in your writing, so that people know that you wrote it by yourself, and like that's actually going to be the norm and like desired, rather than like a perfectly written and worded article that comes from the bot.
There'll be an agent that helps you, put in strategic mistakes. Anyway, all right. So we're going to rate this as important. What do you guys think, Adam? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I would probably agree. Important. I was considering essential, because at some point, and hopefully sooner than later, all organizations are going to be confronted with some of these issues about how is negotiating a generative AI contract different than business as usual, right? What are the things that we really need to consider here? Like some of the examples in terms of the intellectual property and data sovereignty, and like there's some new issues that have surfaced, and I thought it did a pretty good job of covering the landscape. So I was on the edge between essential and important.
Yeah, I'll make the case for
back you up on essential because sorry, Paul. I mean, I think it's super important, right? So essential, important is a good ranking for this. Go ahead, Paul.
I would lean more towards important, mainly because all your existing vendors are also adding large language models capabilities. So some of these contractual issues will start coming up in all your renewals as well. And it's a whole new, for someone who spent many years dealing with these contracts, it's a whole new world of issues. So people need to start getting ahead of it.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward essential end because this is, I think, the first.
Yeah, me too. I actually decided that I will save this article for myself if I need to return to. It's a must read. It's a must something to keep in mind.
All right, we have a fourth category now. Luda saved it.
I was just going to say, if Luda saved it, it's essential.
All right, essential it is. Next.
Okay, the next one is from Shure. They have introduced Quote Assist, which will help insurance agents to personalize the quotes for their customers.
All right, Paul, you got the Nothing Burger handy?
Yes.
All right. Anybody going to make the case for this is a product announcement. I'm not even sure how the thing works.
I love that, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing to note is just look. Insurance, I think, is just such a perfect industry to be using LLMs in a lot of ways, and now they have something that they can buy off the shelf rather than try to make it themselves. And I think just awareness of the movement is important, but certainly this particular product is not.
To me, like this exists today. I mean, I was just at an insurance broker last month, I think, and they do it all, right there on the spot. So I didn't know if this article was talking about, hey, you don't have to go and work with an insurance broker. If you're buying a car, the guy that's selling you the car can also now quote you your insurance because there's this artificial intelligence based product that will walk them through that. So if that's what it is, I mean, I can see, yes, that's kind of a new service, a new capability, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of nice to talk to a licensed insurance broker if you have questions, right? Not just have the car dealer sell you the insurance.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and put it optional. Optional. Next.
Okay, the next is from BNP Paribas. So they are exploring the use of GenAI in around 26 new use cases.
Okay, this is my goodness, if this isn't cover your ass wear, I don't know what this is. I mean, hey, we're thinking of exploring something.
Yeah, really. What reporter? I mean, the reporter must be getting paid to do this. Like, why are you even writing about this? I will note, I was impressed that it said they have 700 AI applications or use cases in the companies. That was the only thing that I found interesting about this article.
Yeah, my guess is this is a public response to an email from the board saying, "What are you guys doing?"
I'd give it a double Nothing Burger, but I only have one right now.
I agree, Paul.
Right.
Yes. Yep.
Off it goes. Optional.
Double optional.
Okay. So Reveal has launched a new GenAI feature called Ask for legal teams to use it.
Again, this is, back to what you were saying, Paul. Everybody's putting Gen AI on top of their existing products. There's a existing legal database. Anybody gonna make a case for anything other than optional on this guy?
No.
Okay, optional. Next.
Okay. The next one is an interesting piece of hardware that have been launched by Rabbit, and it has sold out 10,000 units, where the company only expected to sell 500 units.
Yeah, to me, this is essential, and the reason it's essential is I think we're seeing a new computer class here, or if not a new computer class, a new product class. This is an appliance that actually does stuff, and I love the whole notion it's a large action model. So it's it's sitting on top, and the fact that there's this kind of, they've used it, CES, they sell at 10,000 in a day. I mean, that just, I think this is essential because it changes the way people. I think we're going to think about how software and functionality and hardware are delivered.
But what happens when you're able to do this on your phone, which is like coming soon? Why do you need this separate piece?
I don't know. I mean, you may not need the separate piece, but the fact of the functionality. I think that we're going to create other objects and specialized hardware to do different stuff, because I think the intelligence is going to be specific enough and the cost low enough that it's going to be more like physical appliances that have information in them. I don't think it'll all be your phone, personally, but I think it'll be a combo.
So the reason to go higher than optional for our audience is about the numbers, 10,000 a day in a day.
No, it's about the concept of what it does and how it does it.
Okay. So that maybe it's more of a trending highlight, but also for me important was that, look, there is a following, there is a need, that it sells 10,000 a day. So that's an important thing to highlight to our audience.
For me, the reason it's essential, not important, is it's not the fact that it sold 10,000. That's confirming. It's the fact that this is the fact that this thing sits on top of your applications and it gets at your intent and tries to create, and it actually gives you a solution, not a set of applications. That to me is a different modality.
Yeah, I also something I thought about. I had just read yesterday how the AI pin, they already laid off workers and they haven't even like shipped that product yet, which I'd see as like comparable to this basically. Right. It's the price point, right? That just this is $199. So people are like, yeah, I'll take a flyer on it. Whereas the pin was it $800, $700? So that I wouldn't buy it right now.
Well, the pin is in the wearables area, right? This is in your
but it's got the same functionality. I mean, it's on your chest or whatever, rather than this might be like in your pocket.
Yeah, for me, it's just the physicality of function is going to come back.
I would still think it's an important, but not essential. But I mean, that's my personal other opinions.
Yeah.
See, I'm totally opposite you, John, because I guess for me, for the audience, I don't see the complete clear connection for generative AI in this one. So that's why I'm on the whole other side. I understand it's an AI assistant, but again, the whole Gen AI part of it is where I get a little bit lost completely for our audience. So that's why I went the whole the opposite way of you on this one.
What do you think?
I say I'd put it in the middle then. I think, I mean, definitely the mode of interacting with it and the fact that it's doing things for you and it's orchestrating, different apps. I mean, we're going in that direction. And I think that's important to note that trend. I don't know if I could go as far as essential, but
I think also it opens another way of interacting, right? So it's true. I mean, I'm glued to my phone, but there are there are things that some people can't do on a phone, whether their eyes aren't that good or they have already problems with arthritis, or I don't know, you know what I mean? And so having just these other ways of accessing information with other devices where you can interact in a different way, you know, maybe that's where they're going at. And then, you know, you can just have your phone in your pocket and have this device standing in your kitchen type of thing.
But it was already standing in the kitchen. The Rabbit is a separate device, so it has been a separate device. It's just what they added is intelligence on top of it. And people who probably had it before got this, so that's they were standing in line to get this new updated one. So that's, for me, is very affirming. You're right, John, but important.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I think it's important. I think it's another way of accessing this new technology.
Yeah.
We're,
All right,
we're 20 minutes, John. Put us home.
Yeah, I was going to say, sounds like we're landing on important. All right, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a bunch of nothing burgers where people have made announcements about enhancing their products with generative AI. We've got an essential article on the law, and then an important article on a new device in terms of its actionability and product function for you. Thanks to Custom GPT for our sponsor. Again, a great product that helps you create your own chatbots and monetize them right away. Very easy to get onto. Many users. And with that, goodbye.